I've wanted to be part of the Peace Corps since I was really little. No electricity, no water, and they gave that to me. All my life, I've been extremely sheltered. That's what I did. I was like, this is my one opportunity to get away from my family. I really took the plunge. I could have gone skydiving or something, but I decided to do the most extreme thing ever, which is to go and commit for 2.5 years. Part of me was like, I did it. And the other part of me was scared shitless. Like, what did I do?
We're back to another episode of Taking the Leap. We are both professionals. Could you tell the audience more about you? Because I know a lot of the time I'm the one talking and you're the one asking the questions. But let's discover more about you, Diana.
Okay. Well, hello, my name is Diana. I'm Najah's wife. A little bit about me. I am really big on training and development. So I've been doing training and development for over 12 years. I love working with people. I love learning about different cultures, how to get people excited about training and learning their roles. And so that's what I do at a company right now. I started doing training and development when I started working in Africa.
Oh, that's a story.
Oh,
that's
it is
a story
on
its own. So
it is
this woman, everybody, has lived in Africa, in Togo, and she lived in a place where there's no electricity.
No running water.
I don't know what happened to her. Like, how did she end up deciding to go there? We would love to learn.
I've wanted to be part of the Peace Corps since I was really little. I have an uncle. His name is Theo Ever, and that's how I first learned about something called a Peace Corps volunteer. He was telling me stories of adventures that after meeting a Peace Corps volunteer, some of the adventures that she told him. And so he shared some of those with me, and I was always so wide-eyed and excited, and I was like, I want to do that too. How do I do it? So before I graduated from university, I graduated with a bachelor's in psychology and kinesiology. I was initially going to do my master's in marriage and family therapy, but I got invited to join the Peace Corps. So I had submitted my application the year before graduating, and right as I was going to graduate, I received my invitation. And when I did my interview, I said that I wanted to go to a super untouched place, right? So I asked for it. No electricity, no water, and they gave that to me.
But why? Why would you ask to go to a place with zero luxuries of the things that we take for granted every day here?
Honestly, all of my life, I've been very sheltered. So I'm the oldest of 5. I come from, my parents are both Salvadorian. They came here seeking asylum after the Civil War in El Salvador. And so they got asylum. Eventually, they got their citizenship here. But they met here in the United States, in Los Angeles, actually. And they got married. They had 5 kids, me being the first. And so all my life, I've been extremely sheltered. I had to go to school and come straight home, right? Whenever there were boys that wanted to take me to a dance or to a prom, my dad would open the door, see them, and slam the door in their face. Right there, there was a time where there was a boy that called the house. I gave him my number, but it was a landline, right? Because nobody had cell phones at that time, so it was a landline. And this boy, thinking it was me, serenaded to my dad a song, and my dad called my mom over and was like, "Listen to this," as the boy was singing to them. Wild stories and I didn't learn all of this until much later. Yes, my parents always were it kept me extremely sheltered. I didn't really get to have a lot of friends in high school. I didn't really get to know a lot of people, which, I'm so grateful for everything that they have provided me. And I also am grateful for sheltering me because I was so focused on education. But yes, because of being so sheltered, I wanted to go out there and experience the world. That's what I did. I was like, this is my one opportunity to get away from my family.
Yes, but you could definitely go to a more civilized place where there's running water, there's bathrooms inside the house, and there's like electricity. Why you decided to go to a place where none of the luxuries that we live in right now exist?
It sounded exciting for me.
Why? What's exciting?
Exciting to be somewhere and experience something that I never thought that I would experience. And in my head, I thought that this was the best way in which I could experience, like just take the dive, take the plunge and just do it, right? And I didn't really think about it. And in my head, I was just thinking, I'm going to go somewhere new. I'm going to do something different. In my mind, in my young mind, I was thinking, this is the way, this is my one chance to get away and experience everything.
Right. And so you are a fresh graduate, probably like 22 years old.
I think 22, 23.
And then you got drafted to Peace Corps. You got accepted to go to that rural place that you wanted to go. And now what? Now what happened?
So before I even got there, I traveled by myself for the first time to go to the Peace Corps. I remember not having enough money. I remember being extremely worried that I didn't have enough money. I don't remember what I didn't have enough money for. I don't know if it was for like a taxi ride or something like that. And this lady took pity on me. She asked me, "Where are you going?" And I was like, "I'm going to Africa." She was like, "Why?" She saw that I was completely innocent, that I had no idea what I was doing. So she kind of took me under her wing, like the whole way. I mean, not the whole way, but like halfway through. She was just like warning me, like telling me, be careful out there. You're going to be all alone. And that was, I think, the first time it really hit me like, wow, I really took the plunge. Like I could have gone skydiving or something. I could have gone done anything else, but I decided to do the most extreme thing ever, which is to go and commit for 2.5 years to a completely random country that I'd never even heard of, because I wanted to I wanted to prove to myself that I could be independent. I remember getting to Africa, and my first night there, part of me was like, I did it. And the other part of me was scared shitless. Like, what did I do? Am I gonna survive?
Oh
right?
my God, I can totally imagine that. Oh.
I also wasn't alone. There was also like a cohort of people from other parts of the United States that were going to be in Togo as well, just not living in the same area as me.
So you were the only American or Western in that village?
Yes.
So you're the only one.
I was the
So
only
they can
one.
easily kill you and make you disappear and eat you probably.
Yes and no. So it's not like I was dropped off and there was zero contact ever again. When it comes to the Peace Corps, they're very strategic as to what village they're going to place you in. I was placed in a village named Adokboy. So shout out to my people in Adokboy. I don't know if they are seeing this, but so in Togo, there's different regions of the country. It's kind of like a long, thin, almost like Lebanon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Long and thin. And so I was placed in the maritime region, which is to the capital. So the capital is Lomé. And so it was only about an hour away from Lomé, which is not bad. There were some people that were placed all the way up in Kara. And Kara is like, I want to say like 6 hours, maybe more.
Driving?
No, it was a full day driving up there. So it really wasn't that bad. But yes, I was in a village where, when they drop you off, because when they dropped me off, it looked like I was getting randomly dropped off in the middle of the bushes. And then you walk like a quarter mile in, and that's where the village is.
Wow.
Yes, so you have to walk.
Did they give you like any cell phone, pager, anything that if in case of an emergency you can reach out?
So I did get a cell phone. However, it's really hard to get connection, right? There's like a cellular carrier that's actually pretty good. So they did give me that. It was kind of like one of those super old school phones, but it does the job, right? And it's just to like call for like emergencies, for like to get in contact with people, but you don't get like a lot of cellular time. Like you have to get a gigabyte or
Right.
something,
Were you able to call into the US with that cell phone? No.
No.
So the US you're completely disconnected from the US, from your home, from your
Yes,
family.
you have to travel to the regional capital in order for you to get in contact with your family, right? At least that's the way that I remember it.
So you went in that village. First night was a mix of scary
Oh
and
my goodness. The first night that I was in my actual village. So let me back up just a little bit. So as soon as I arrived to Togo, right? They do like, I believe like a 5 or 6 week training camp where they start to teach you your regional language. They teach you the national language as well. I ended up placing intermediate high for the national language in Togo, which is French. So I speak French really well. And then also I had to learn the regional language, which is Ewe. So you spell it E-W-E.
EWE.
E-W-E. But you say Ewe. So the W is like a V.
Oh, very cool.
And so we also had to learn that language so that they could prep you to be in those villages.
All right. So you learned this for how many months?
So it was a total of 6 weeks.
6 weeks before. So 6 weeks, you got to grab a language from zero.
Yes. And then they put you, so like you get the very basics of the language before putting you in the village.
How did you learn French though?
For me, I've always been fascinated by that language. And so in high school, I took some classes and I got to like the advanced French class.
Okay.
And so for me, it was really easy. I became very fluent in it. And it's very similar to Spanish. Spanish is my first language.
Right.
So it was easy. Those are the romantic languages. So it's
So
easy to
English, Spanish, French, and Ewe are the 4 languages that you know right now?
Well, I wouldn't say I know Ewe fluently. I can share the basics. And I remember some, but if you don't use it, you lose it. So unless I were to take like another class or something, then I'd feel a lot more confident in saying that I speak it.
Right. But when after your 6 weeks of learning that language, they sent you into the village, you know how to basically communicate basic things with that language?
Yes. So you have to there's like the word timati, that's tomato. So there's some easy words. And so you learn like some of the local lingo so that when you do go to the marchés or to like the local markets, you're able to negotiate and share what it is that you want.
And do they have a currency and like you pay by cash
They
and
do.
stuff like that?
They do. And I'm blanking on what the currency was.
But it's like paper money.
Yeah. But it's like so they have like a $1,000 bill, right? And that's really only like $2.
Oh yeah, this is the same with Lebanon. We used to have like big, massive. Even right now, like 100,000 Lebanese pounds is like. Right,
isn't that insane? That's insane. Like I went over there and I was like, how is this the currency?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just really interesting.
But is there law and order? Is there police in that village? How is it kept?
They do have police. I will say that it's it's corrupt, So like over there, just like it is in other countries, right? You as you're driving, policemen will, if they see that you're white, which if you're like lighter skin or you're not African, right? Then they call you Yovo. So Yovo means white person. You can be Hispanic like myself, or you could be Chinese, and they'll still call you Yovo. Yeah, and so they see a Yovo, they assume, oh, they have money, so they'll stop you. They'll stop you for almost any reason. And so they'll stop you and then they'll be like, give me some money and then I'll let you go. So yeah, so if it's very corrupt over there. If they see you and they see that you're a Yovo, then they'll take money from you.
And have you been stopped like that before?
We've been stopped in the past. So I never drove over there. Taxis are really prominent. So are motorcycles. So it's called Lue a Moto. So that's like you rent a motorcycle guy, and they'll take you to wherever it is that you want to go.
It's like the tuk-tuk in Thailand and Asia.
Yeah.
They have this motorcycle cart, kind of motorcycle cart that you pay. It's like taxi.
Yes.
But it's a motorcycle.
Exactly. So it's kind of like a motorcycle taxi.
Okay.
And so you get on them and They take you to where you want to go.
Is there police inside the village or no? It's like on its own.
It's mostly like on the highways. So there's like one long road. So within that road, and mostly like in the regional capital,
Right.
or like in the in the regional like larger cities.
But weren't you afraid of someone would kidnap you and use you as like, okay, I will release her if you give me that much money? Did this thought came to you when you traveled there or no?
Not necessarily. Again, I was naive, so I think that helps. And I also tend to be a very positive person. So there I was walking, like thinking everything was fine and dandy. That never occurred to me in my head. I never felt threatened. As far as I remember, there weren't any guns there or anything like that. Only like the police would have them.
Right. Yeah, I'm just curious. I think this is a great story. Just, random person, a young girl, just graduated college in the US, country where there's a lot of resources and luxuries to enjoy, decided to leave everything behind and go to an untouched village in Togo, Africa. And what was your mission there? What were you supposed to do?
So going back to what you were asking me, like, what is it that I do? Right? That's where initially I was going to be a marriage and family therapist. But when I went to Togo, I was actually a gender and education ambassador. So it's basically training and development where you put together workshops. You work with various different counterparts. You help put together conferences. You put together all these programs and camps and all so that we can endorse education of children. Because over there, at least in the time that I was there, I can't speak for now. It's been over 10 years since I've been there.
So the goal was educating the children.
Yes. So the goal was educating the children. So during my time there, girls were really rarely allowed to go to school. So when girls were born, they were taught to stay at home. They had to, from a very young age, they had to clean. They had to help take care of the kids. They had to help to feed the family. They had to go to the champ, which is like their little plot of land. And that's really what they were doing. They were being bred so that they could have a family of their own eventually. And so the whole point of them, at least the mentality was, girls were to stay at home to help with the family dynamic. And then the boys, they could go to school.
Right.
And so what we were doing there is we were, number one, helping to educate the community, letting them know what malaria is, because a lot of people thought that these were curses, right? We talked about the importance of going to the bathroom like in actual latrines, and we built latrines for them throughout the whole village.
What's
right?
a latrine?
A latrine is like a bathroom, kind of like a porta potty, right?
Okay.
So it's kind of looks like that, where there's a hole that's built in, and the whole point of it is for them to go to the bathroom there and not to go to the bathroom in their own fields, because that's what they would do, and the children would get really sick. People would die because that's what they knew. They didn't know any better to not go to the bathroom in their fields, right?
So they will go to the bathroom in their fields, and that field is growing trees and vegetables that they will eat, and that will
and then it's contaminated, and it makes them sick. So we would educate them on the importance of not doing that. And then we would provide them with the resources, because it's one thing of just saying, no, don't do that, that's bad for you, but then just leaving and not doing anything about it. So instead, what we would do is we created latrines for them, where now these are designated spaces where they can go and use the restroom.
When you say we as the Peace Corps, right? But you are the only one in the village. So you would ask for help to build these things?
Yes, we would reach out to Rotary clubs. We would reach out to other foundations. We would send letters to like get grants. And then we would work with counterparts. So like for myself, for example, there was a very dynamic Croix Rouge or Red Cross group in the village. And so I worked with them so that they could help to spread the word and awareness. And so I would work with the Red Cross, right? They weren't real Red Cross, but they called themselves the Red Cross, and the Red Cross would periodically come every year or so to bring like materials to them or to like come and speak. And so they built a club. And so using this club, we were able to spread the word and spread the awareness and get that buy-in to, do and understand the importance of doing certain things.
Right.
So another example would be something as simple as mosquito nets. The Red Cross was wonderful, and they came and they brought mosquito nets to different villages, but the people didn't know what to do with them. So they were just thinking it was like a sheet, and they would sleep on top of the mosquito nets, right? They didn't understand the purpose. Right. And so part of what I did was put together a workshop, and help them, actually do it, and then crawl underneath it so we could, and then with the mamas, right? It's the mothers of the community. We would talk about what the importance of it, how it would help them, what the benefit is, how it would help to eradicate malaria, right? And how this is how we could prevent mosquitoes from biting them. So that was another thing that we did. We also created camps. So one of the camps was something called Camp Joie, where it stands for Camp Joy. And so with this camp, it was a camp for children with disabilities, because when kids were born with disabilities, they would say that they got a kid like this because they were cursed. They did something bad in their lifetime, and so their curse is that now they have a broken child, right? And so we're trying to get rid of that mentality where it's not a curse, and it's not, they shouldn't just be left alone, and they shouldn't just be discarded. That they're a human being, they're a soul, right? And so we should welcome them, and we should, how we have like ADA laws here. So raising awareness of their rights as well. They have rights too. So that's what we would talk about, and talking to these kids who thought that, they were useless and didn't understand their reason for being. We brought them to these camps to show them there are people who are living with disabilities, and yet they're successful, yet they're thriving, and they're living, and they're not to be discarded.
So what are some fun adventures that you've been through there in Africa?
Some fun adventures.
I know you got involved in an accident. This is not fun, but maybe surviving it is fun.
Oh my God, that is quite a story. So I used to, when I would get on those motorcycles, I would rarely wear my helmet, right? Peace Corps gave us a helmet that we were supposed to use every time that we did get on a motorcycle. Sometimes I wouldn't wear it. But this time, I decided to wear it, and thank God that I did. We were going up to a festival. There was a festival that was happening, and I don't remember the name of the village, but it was a village that was like up in the mountains. And I had a friend, her name is Lauren, so shout out to Lauren. I had a friend named Lauren who was located in that region, and I was going to go and visit her for that festival. There was going to be dancing of all, that part of different villages that, they like to showcase their different arts, their different styles of dancing. And so I was really excited to go. On our way over there, the motorcycle man, it was a very steep mountain. So the motorcycle man was driving really rapidly. He was driving very, in my view, he was going way too fast. So I kept asking him, I would tap him on the shoulder, and I would say, doucement, which means go slowly, please, go slowly.
And just to make sure that I understand correctly, that is not the motorcycle cart, that you are actually behind him on the motorcycle, right?
I'm in the same motorcycle with him.
The same motorcycle. So it's different from the tuk-tuk in Thailand where they basically attach the motorcycle to a cart.
No, it's not that.
So you are on the motorcycle behind the guy.
Yes, there's the one motorcycle, there's a driver, and I'm right behind him. So I'm tapping him on the shoulder, and I'm like, go slowly, please. And he wasn't going slowly. And it was very rocky. It wasn't a true path or anything. Literally.
Not paved?
It was not paved. He was literally going up the mountain, and it was
roads.
dirt. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was scary as it was, right?
Okay.
So I remember this guy. Yeah, he ended up going up. He was going up, and then he ended up getting in an accident.
And you were behind it.
And I'm on him. So the motorcycle flies off. We fly off the motorcycle, and remember, like now we're on the mountain, right? So the motorcycle flies off. The guy hits a tree, and then I somehow I'm like caught by some bushes, some random bushes that were there. And I do hit my head, but my head, like the helmet, like it breaks in half. Like it breaks. And
So
I'm
if it wasn't the helmet, it would be your head.
exactly. And I don't think the motorcycle man survived. Like
Oh, wow.
I'm sure that there was a lot that happened.
Do you remember what caused the accident?
I think it was like he was going too fast.
He
I think
slipped?
it was like a rock or
Oh.
something. Like and that caused us all to tumble. But yeah, so that was
Did you have any injuries, like bruises and stuff?
yes, as a matter of fact I still have a scar on my leg.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that was a pretty scary accident. And yeah. But I
And this
think over
This happens in the first year, 2 years, you being there?
I want to say it was my second year. I did end up extending and staying a third year.
You did?
So I was there for a total of 3 years.
But that night, did you end up going to your friend or everything canceled?
So
How did people know about you to come and rescue you anyway?
there were people there. There's always people there.
Okay.
So this guy got medevaced. There was a helicopter that medevaced him. It was crazy. I also got taken a look at. Luckily, it's not as I didn't break anything. I've never broken anything, but it was still a really scary incident.
Did you continue your trip to the village?
I did end up continuing
Yay, that's a
my trip
fun
to the
story.
village. So, but I should have gone to the hospital, but I did not go because I wanted to go. I wanted to go and see everything.
Right.
And so
Was it worth it?
I would say it was. So I ended up getting a scarification on the back of my neck along with my friend.
Oh, that's the night where you got that little
That was the night that I ended up getting a scarification. Yeah, I was I never enjoyed anything. Like I was basically in bed the whole time. I was not any fun. I was crying the whole time. It was they understood, like it was a very traumatic incident. Yeah, and so when I went there, that village is particularly known for doing scarifications. And so
What does a scarification mean?
so scarification is kind of like a tattoo. But the thing is, instead of like a regular tattoo, they cut you and they do a ritual, right? So they cut you, they put like this black, I don't know if it's like
Ink?
soot or tar or something. They put something on you and then it stays there permanently. So it looks like it's a tattoo, but it's not a tattoo. It's a scarification.
Right. Scar from scar.
Yeah, like they purposefully
Is it
do these
painful?
scars. I mean, yeah, they're cutting you, but but I wouldn't say it's like
Why
crazy.
did you agree to be scarified? How do you say it?
Scarred?
Scarred. Yeah. Why did you agree to do it?
I mean, it's an adventure, right? And I had traveled all that way to go and do that and to go
Right.
to go see this festival. And it's actually a way in which people are identified in Togo.
Right.
So a lot of times you'll see that people are scarred on their face. So they have like marks on their faces, and you might see them randomly. I know I've seen it at least a couple times here in the United States. It's not very common, but it helps to distinguish you for your tribe
Right. So you belong to one tribe
or for your
another.
village. Mm-hmm.
And is it the same tribe that your original village, or is it different?
No,
tribe?
I did it. This was for a different tribe, and I did not do it in my village. My village didn't do those things. My village was not an animist village. The village that I went to was, and what we mean by animist is they believe in voodoo, and they call it gris over there. And so like they do all types of ritualistic voodoo practices. Obviously, I don't believe in that, but I do have stories in which things have happened to fellow volunteers that like it makes you want to stay far away from that. And I'm like, dear God, don't let me be exposed to that, you know?
Now I'm curious.
No, I don't think you want to know. We're gonna scare the people over here.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so we did the scarification, and yeah, and I think to this day I still have it in the back of my neck. I did it like some of my friends, they did it like on their bodies and all of that. I've always been, kind of afraid of tattoos, and
Yeah.
yet there I was doing the extreme stuff.
So it's so interesting because you did this for 3 years. And since I've known you, like the number of interest that your story generates just because you left the comfort of America to go and do something different. And I think the lesson here is that how enriching is the experience to do something different from the ordinary. It's like it adds a lot of depth and layers. I mean, only 3 years of your life, but look how many stories you come back with. Probably this is the most, I mean, I've witnessed by being next to you all the time. And, this is an era of your life that is so interesting. People ask about it. You have a lot to share. You felt that you did something meaningful. You were telling me about how girls, you're helping them get the education they need and how you empowered them to become what they want to become. I think that this is a missed opportunity. A lot of people are just in the comfort zone and they live their entire life in the comfort zone. And that's a good lesson to have. But I know that there's a lot of also, I think you enjoyed your time there. Even there's no money, there's no video games, there's no, I don't know, clubs and bars. Where were they?
There were clubs. There was a club in Lomé, so in the capital of Togo, but in my village, there's nothing like that. All right, going back to what you were talking about, and it was a very enriching experience. I look back at it very fondly. Would I want to go do it again? Probably not. That's it's a
No, you're
lot to
not.
do. It's definitely an adventure. It's an experience, and you're literally leaving everything to go and do something different, right? To go do something that not most people wouldn't have the guts to do it. But I will say that I learned a lot about myself. Again, me being a girl that was sheltered, going straight to doing what was expected. So going straight from school to university, graduating, and I could have gone a master's route right away. But instead, I learned more. I got to learn more about myself. I got to experience something that was truly coming from me because I wanted to do it. And not everybody gets the opportunity. I learned what I liked. I learned what I didn't like. I learned that there's so much happiness without that you're able to have so much happiness, so much positivity without the material stuff. And so to this day, like that's something that I'm still reminded of. Material stuff, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it does not matter. What matters is the people that you're surrounded with. What matters is the love that you have. What matters is your intentions. And if you look at things through a positive light, then life is going to be joyful no matter what. Because I was in a village for 3 years with people where I have seen the most amount of joy there than I have seen anywhere else.
What did you miss most when you were there? Mm-hmm. And you think, oh, I wish I
The
was...
food. I missed the food. I mean, obviously I missed my family, but I missed the food. Like over there, you can't get what America and the United States have here. You want kiwis, you can get kiwis at the grocery store. You want dates, you want whatever it is, you can easily get whatever your heart desires here. Over there, good luck. Over there, like I was grateful because my mom was smart enough to pack some seasonings for me in my suitcase. So I had like 7 seasonings, and I had like cumin, and I had like a couple of other things that I brought with me. And that was luxury. That was complete luxury. That I couldn't find that anywhere else. Right. And it wasn't until initially I resisted. I remember saying, I don't need this. I don't want, like, what? Right. It's going to break. Like, what a hassle. But when I got there, that was the stuff that was luxury. You know, that's the stuff that you want, that you crave, that people will pay money for. So
the food was a big one.
the food was a big one. I mean, obviously there was good food there as well. There was a food that I didn't like. It's called pat, which is literally like kind of like ground meal, and like you pound it and it turns into like a paste, or like a thick paste, almost like, I don't know. And so you grab it and then you dip it in a sauce. I hated that. I did not like it. However, there was another thing. So it's called pounded yam. It's called fufu. And so fufu, it's like they pound it as well. And it turns into this like fluffiness, and it's delicious. And over there's no utensils. You don't eat with forks and knives and spoons, right? Over there, you eat with your hands. And so you grab a piece of fufu, you dip it in the sauce, which peanut sauce was my favorite, and you eat it. And I don't know what it is, and I wouldn't do it now, right? But at the time, like, you do what other people are doing in your surroundings. So at the time, you would grab a piece of fufu, dip it, and just put it in your mouth, and you're like savoring the sauce as it's in your fingers. You're like eating, the sauce from your fingers. And I don't know how to explain it, but it tastes so good. And it probably sounds so disgusting, but it, like, in the moment, like, you're like savoring every single bite, and it's so delicious. And you make it yourself, right? You don't go and buy it normally. And meat over there is a luxury. You don't just go and buy meat, right? You have to go and find it and kill it yourself and all of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's no like going to the store and buying some meat.
Right.
Right? The meat that they would eat is like something called varan, which is like a giant lizard or a giant rat. That's what they would eat. Like, they have like these giant rats that you go and you find in the bushes, and you kill it and you eat it. And it was a luxury to eat cow. I remember being present, and even at that time I was still a vegetarian, right? But you go and you kill. You watch them kill the goat. You watch them kill the cow, and it's like a feast, right? They even eat dog there. So. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, they do. They do. So, yeah, it's
They eat dogs.
They do.
Sunshine, don't go to Africa.
They do eat dog. And I've tried it before. I definitely would not recommend it.
You tried what?
I've tried dog before.
You ate dog?
Yeah, it's not delicious. I promise you. Don't do it.
But how did you eat the dog?
So they actually held a festival for me. Because I was there for 3 years, the village loved me. I love the village as well. I still keep in contact with a lot of people there. But they named me like the princess of the village. And they gave me a name called Enyonam, which means good for us. So that was my name. They never knew me as Diana there.
Really?
No.
You were called Enyonam.
So my name in my village is called Enyonam. Yeah, so that was my name. And they only knew me as Enyonam. They'd be like, Enyonam, that, not that. That's Arabic. I think it was va. And so they would call me, and that was my name. That's what everybody knew me as. And even in like the villages that were close, that's what my name was.
Right. And that festival?
And in that festival, when they were celebrating me, they roasted a dog. And when somebody is being celebrated, that person has to eat first.
Oh my God.
And so I couldn't not eat. So I had the littlest piece, and oh my goodness. I wouldn't recommend
How does
it.
it taste though? Can you remember a little bit?
I mean, it's been a long time ago, but I would say to me, again, I'm a vegetarian. So to me, it tasted like dog's breath.
Oh, you could kind of smell the dog in
Like you
it?
could, and I don't know if it was like cooked well. Like I don't know if they seasoned. Like I don't know, but it's
How big of a
roasted.
piece you got?
A small piece. I got like a shoulder piece.
Is it like chewy or is it like easily chewed?
I think it was a little on the chewy side.
Well, the good news is that we have a title for this episode. She ate the dog. She
Ew.
ate the dog, everybody. No, we don't eat dogs in the family, just to make record clear. Like we have a
I have a dog. We've had him for a while.
beautiful Sunshine. Are you here,
I would
Sunshine?
never eat him.
You're never gonna eat Sunshine.
No, that was my first and last time.
Yeah.
But it's an experience for sure, right? And that definitely is not something that I would want to relive.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see the lifestyles that they have in
Yeah.
other parts of the world. And I think part of me thinks that I didn't know what I wanted to experience, but I knew I wanted to experience something that not many other people had,
Yeah.
right? And I wouldn't have been able to tell you that back then, but I can definitely tell you that the memories that I have, like I might have had some hard times. There were definitely times where like I would lay in my bed and I would be crying because I wanted to go home. Like I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I enjoyed every second of it because I didn't. But I'm so proud of myself that I stuck it through, that I did. Not only did I do the 2 years, right? I did 3 years. I stayed longer. Yeah, that makes me
Just
so happy.
curious, what made you stay longer?
What made me stay longer? Well, there was an organization, and of course, all of a sudden I'm blanking on it right now. It was something fee, like which means something about girls. Of course, I'm blanking on it right
It's okay. Just tell us.
but yeah, so I stayed a little bit longer to help with that. I was also thinking of being like a teacher. There was like a school that was in the capital that I was like, ooh, maybe I could be a teacher here. But of course, those were just thoughts, and I was just deciding what I wanted to do because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like I knew that I loved what I was doing there, and I wanted to somehow take that back to the United States. But at the time, it felt too daunting. I was like, how am I going to take this back to the United States? Like, what can I do with it? Right. And I had to really, really hone in like what it was that I wanted to do. And so going back, like I eventually ended up going back to the United States, and I ended up getting a job as a manager for Target.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, like, I learned a lot. I learned about leadership. I learned about management. I learned about stores and, product and all that stuff, merchandising. But it was not a passion. I did not love it. It was not something that I thought to myself, wow, I could do this for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And so from there, I started applying to like other things. And I applied to the American Red Cross. And I saw that there was like a training and development position. And I was like, what is this? This looks really interesting. I was looking at the job description and I was like, I want to do this. And so I'm so grateful because I ended up getting the opportunity.
And then you were doing training and development with the Red Cross now.
And so then I started doing training and development with the Red Cross. Okay. Yeah. And I loved it. I was always traveling. I was doing, I was overseeing like the West Coast in training and development. So I got to go everywhere from like Alaska to Oregon, which like Bend, Oregon is one of my favorite cities. I got to go to so many different places. Through the Red Cross, I also got to go to Washington, D.C., and it was just such a great experience. But after being there for a couple of years, I was traveling all the time, and I was tired of traveling. My fourth year, I was like, I need to get out of here.
And you survived an earthquake in Alaska, right?
I did survive an earthquake. I survived a an 8.5
Oh,
earthquake, I
wow.
believe it was in Alaska.
You were inside?
I was in my hotel room getting ready to leave and go back home.
Okay.
When all of a sudden, and remember, this is the American Red Cross. They show you what to do during earthquakes and all of that stuff. But in the moment when that happened to me, like when the earthquake happened, my mind went blank. It
Really?
went blank. I had no idea what to do. So guess what I did, which is what you shouldn't do, right? I decided to get on top of the bed and hold on to all four corners of the bed with dear life, for dear life.
Oh my God.
And that's not what you're supposed to do,
And you're
everybody.
from Red Cross,
I'm
so
from
you're
the
the
Red Cross.
one who teaches.
This is what we do. We teach, and I totally forgot everything.
See,
Which
this tells you how vulnerable we all are.
it really
even
does.
even the information that you know what to do, you think that you know, but at the moment of crisis, sometimes we don't know
Sometimes you
nothing.
freeze, and I think that's what I did, right? And so that was a very humbling experience for me because now I'm a lot less quick to judge people because
Wonder.
that's my job. And yet I froze. And I don't have to be telling this story to anyone. I could just keep it to myself. But I want to show the reality of things. Like
Right.
sometimes you can be the biggest expert and still freeze.
Right.
And that's what happened to me. So I ended up not, I think 2 days or something. All of the airport was closed.
Oh wow. So you
So
couldn't come
I
home.
couldn't leave. I had to stay there.
And were the buildings have any of them fall down? Was your building
So
scathed?
I remember hearing that there was a crack. Like there was a part of the road, one of the main roads in Alaska, kind of cracked and caved. But I don't I didn't see it for myself, At least I don't remember. Yeah, I don't think I saw it for myself.
Cool.
But yeah, it was a crazy experience.
And the Red Cross job, what happens after that?
So after that, I got another job. It's a job that I'm currently at, so I'm not going to share where it is, but training and development as well.
Big part of it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the whole thing is training and
I
development.
mean, for me, I really enjoy putting trainings together, putting classes together, seeing, doing it in a way where people who are taking these courses, you could see a light bulb moment, right?
Right. Yeah. So you're a teacher at heart. You've always been, and you get to practice it. But you're teaching adults and not kids, and you're teaching professionals. So it's kind of like a university teacher, but without the structure and. I mean, you're now taking your master's degree. So if you compare your professors that they are teaching you in your master's degree with what you do every day with the employees of your organization, how different the two models of education are.
I think the main difference, which I personally love, is helping people who are newer, right? Learn how to be good at their job, giving them tools, giving them resources so they could be the best employee they can be. And so obviously there's that whole debate with skill versus will, right? But I think a large part of it is getting them to get bought in, right? Telling them the why behind why what they do is important. And if you can just tell someone the why, right? If you can just tell someone the impact that they make on the company or the impact that they leave to others or to their department, when it clicks, that's when they want to start doing their role, right?
And compare that with the master's model of education.
I think with masters, it's a lot more philosophical, a lot more theoretical, and not to bash it at all in any way. But I feel like with training and development within specific companies, it's a lot more tangible, right? These are tangible skills that you can now take these and the next day go and use them.
I have a last question after you've told us your beautiful story. And now you're graduating with your master's in
This Friday,
this
I'm
Friday.
graduating in with my master's in organizational leadership.
Right. So how would you say that experience was for you?
Wow, that's a great question. So after starting my career, I was never really inclined to do my master's. I maybe this is just being naive, right? But I was like, I don't know how it's going to serve me. I don't know how it's going to help me. But after meeting you, right? I met you while you were finishing up your master's, and you were really passionate about learning and discovering and philosophy. And you were the one that kind of pushed me into like, doing your master's would be a really cool thing to do.
Yeah, but to put things in context, there was an opportunity with your work that facilitated that. And of course, if there is an option to get a master's degree, I think master's is better than no master's. I'm not saying that though it's a end-to-end solution to learning. I think we have to constantly be learning, whether we're doing the master's or not.
Right. Hmm.
We are, you
Well,
know,
I think you and I we are very big on learning, and we're also kind of like what you do also is you're a teacher. You help others be more successful in their business, right? And you teach them skills that are very tangible and very relevant to what it is that they're doing on their day to day.
right.
So you are also a teacher at heart. And what I learned was, yes, it's cool to teach and everything, but with your masters, you find better ways to ask questions. You start to discover, and they give you cases, and they give you, things to read and to learn about that are different philosophies. That it's not just what you're used to. So yes, I'm very happy and I'm grateful that I'm completing my master's,
Yeah.
and I'm getting it next week. And I would say that yes, I had the opportunity through my work. My work was very generous, but I would also say that the reason I took that leap and the reason I did it was because of watching you for a whole year, watching you graduate.
She always likes to give me credit.
Well, it's true,
But I want to say something about what you said, the theories. A lot of us will try to learn from the people around us. If you are an employee, you learn from your boss. If you're an agency, you learn from clients, or you learn from others. And you think that that's the only way, right? And when you go to a master's degree about leadership, it starts to synthesize the word. It starts to tell you, well, there's different types of leadership. Well, there's that type of organization structure that your company is adopting. Oh, but there's another organization structure that is equally viable for different
Exactly.
business. So it starts to open your mind. I know it doesn't tell you everything you need to know, but it opens to the mind to know what you don't know.
Right. So I don't know if I've shared this already, but my master's is in organizational leadership. And so I am a leader within my organization, and I'm so grateful that I am. I have had different bosses, right? I have had different mentors who do things a certain way. And, it's easy for us to think, oh, because they're doing it this way, this is the way that I should be doing it too. But that's not always the case, and with this master's in organizational leadership, one thing that I've learned is I've had the opportunity to study different leaders in different eras to see what it was that they did. Were they charismatic leaders? And if they were, how was that impactful versus what would have been more impactful if they were a different type of leader? Right. And so this is how I'm learning my own self. Like, what kind of leader do I want to be? I definitely want to be somebody who is a charismatic leader, but there's certain skills that I have to continue honing in order for me to be charismatic. I also want to be a leader that is trusted, right? I want to be a leader that, is going to walk the walk and not just ask people to do something because I can, right? There's the whole boots in the ground kind of thing.
The servant leader,
There's servant leadership, yes.
what I try to aspire to.
Yes. And I think that you're really good at it. You have servant leadership with me at least in this relationship. So
Awesome.
yeah.
S-
So
So that's the wrap. Like that's the story of that lady, everybody. So if you haven't known Diana before, now you had a better idea for how you started your journey all the way from your childhood and how sheltered you were to getting your degree, going to Africa for 3 years, coming back, doing Target, then doing Red Cross and experiencing the earthquake in Alaska, and then what you do now and the master's degree that you're about to finish. So that's a beautiful story. That's you should be very proud. You have a beautiful story and a great experience, and I'm grateful to be with you. I mean, it was a beautiful story that you shared, and I think it's good to just end it there and high five. What do you think?
sure. Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.